I'm here in central London at a Jewish communal event marking 2 years since Hamas's terrorist atrocities on Israel, in which 1,200 people were murdered and over 250 were kidnapped and taken hostage, some of whom still remain in Hamas captivity. No doubt today will also be marking the tragic loss the Jewish community has felt in recent days from the Manchester synagogue terrorist attack. 2 people were killed when an Islamist with a knife approached the synagogue on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, seeking to murder Jews. 2 were killed. Many more would have been killed were it not for the swift action of police and security. There's a lot of police and security here today, and since that attack, Jewish events, synagogues, schools, police and security have ramped up their presence, because that is what the Jewish community is facing now. And many feel that this attack was inevitable and that this was the result of 2 years of anti-Semitic hatred bubbling up in this country. So I'm going to speak with members of the public here today and see what they have to say. Why are you here today?
I'm here to show my support like everybody else.
How are you feeling in light of the recent terror attack in Manchester?
It's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. And it's hard not to be political when you see how people have been emboldened by the government's lack of action. Everybody knew it was going to happen. Everybody's been 2 years in the making. First the Tories and then the Labour. I'm virtually speechless.
Has the atmosphere in Britain towards Jews, has it changed in your lifetime, and if so, how?
It's changed very much so. I mean, when I was very young and after the war, during the war, there was a lot of anti-Semitism. And then somehow the atmosphere changed and we didn't have it so much. I got sacked from my first job when they realised I was Jewish, because they didn't hire anybody who was Jewish. So I made sure I worked for Jews until I got old enough to be able to stand up for myself, and it was okay. So it's very sad now that somehow there's suddenly this eruption. I mean, it's probably always there, but now people feel that it's okay to say they're anti-Semitic and they don't like Jews.
Yeah, I think this was a boiling point, and it culminated recently in Manchester with the terror attack on Yom Kippur. I think that really shocked a lot of people. I mean, do you remember how you felt when you first heard it?
Well, I couldn't believe it, and then I heard that my granddaughter was also in a synagogue. Not that synagogue, she was in South Manchester, and the police came in and locked them down until they made sure that they weren't under attack. And then after a little while took them out in groups of 3 and 4. So it felt very near, as well as just in Manchester, if you know what I mean.
So you're from Israel and you're visiting, you just happened to come across, did you know this was going to happen or no?
No,
Wow.
I didn't.
And how are you feeling?
It's tragic that we're almost 2 years after October 7th and it's still haven't over. It's feeling like it's close to ending, hopefully.
Remembering 2 years since the 7th of October, and most importantly, a call to release the hostages who have been cruelly kept there for close to 2 years now.
Do you think this country is doing enough to put pressure on Hamas to release the hostages?
Definitely not. Definitely not. The ultimatum that came from Keir Starmer about recognising a Palestinian state, the ultimatum was to the Israeli government and none whatsoever placed to Hamas. It was a sort of subtle afterthought, and I think that if he wanted the world to see what Hamas stand for, the ultimatum should have gone to them and said to them, if you truly care about the Palestinian people and a Palestinian state, free the hostages, give up your arms, and then we will recognise a state.
Yeah, it felt a bit like a reward for terror, didn't it?
I believe so. I believe so.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the terror attack recently in Manchester at a synagogue on Yom Kippur. Obviously, this is shocked the country, although I think many in the Jewish community felt that this was maybe a sad inevitability due to government inaction. What are your thoughts about it? What do you feel when you heard it?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think like many other Jews in the country, we were shocked, we were saddened, obviously, but we all knew in the back of our minds that it was a matter of time. We've seen similar attacks in other parts of Europe, and the rhetoric that you see on social media from politicians even, it felt that it was very much a matter of time.
That very night of the terror attack, there were Palestine protests across the country calling for intifada and Zionists out and this sort of rhetoric. You're a dad, you have kids. How do you feel about having Jewish kids in this country with these protests going on, and they spring up and you don't even know when they're going to happen?
I mean, you look at my kids, maybe not so much my youngest one, but I've got a daughter who's not here today with us. When I was their age, I loved being a kid in the UK. I as much as I loved visiting my family in Israel, I never thought about living anywhere but UK. And it's constant conversations which they're bringing up about leaving the UK. They are noticing it. They are feeling it. There is an undertone that fills our lives about, and it's, I guess, a question about whether there is a viable future for us in the UK.
How old are you?
15. Just rather live somewhere else. Like, it's starting to get a bit unsafe here, I would say. And I think it'd be better for us to be elsewhere.
Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home.
How do you feel being here today? Can you describe the atmosphere, please?
It's very good and positive, although it's about a sombre event. I didn't have my flag flying on the tube until the last few stations. But
you wary of unveiling it on the tube?
in the past, no, I loved it. Used to get comments. But this time I thought I'll wait till I'm a little bit closer before I put it up. But when I go back, I think I'll keep it up, at least until I don't feel it's safe.
Tell me about what's going on here.
I'm Greek Cypriot Christian, but I support Israel, because I'm a Christian, I support Israel. Yeah, and big time. I've always supported Israel and the Jewish people, because Jesus, after all, was Jewish. But I see the fairness of it. Not just that, but that's the main standpoint, but because it's the right thing to do.
I just want to point up to the sign here that says, when will Jews be safe in England? What are you feeling right now?
I feel terrible. It's so boring to be scared for so long. I'm so tired. It's such an old question, and I feel like by now we could have resolved it. And the climate of fear for Jews has been it's been let loose, it's been encouraged, and it could have been stopped in so many ways, in universities, in schools, by communities. And my son now is scared to go to synagogue. And I just feel like I'm so tired as a mum, trying to make him have a positive feeling about his Jewish identity in the UK. And it's just exhausting. It's exhausting to be Jewish in the UK. I've lived here since I was 9. I've experienced so much anti-Semitism over the years, and it comes and goes, and it's constant denial. And there's this feeling that we have to be safe by not being Jewish and being invisible. But I'm here today, and I'm sick of being scared. I'm sorry. I feel very happy to be here and to be alive and to be surrounded by people full of hope. And that's the positive side of coming here today.
Listen, you don't need to apologise for how you're feeling. I think a lot of people are feeling exactly how you're feeling right now. A lot of Jews in Britain are very scared. And
a lot of people are staying in their houses and they just don't think it's worth coming out. And I just think, what's the point of living a life without any values? If you believe in your identity, your history, you have to have that whole perspective of a life that is meaningful rather than just a life that is for the sake of survival.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, look, we're not a people who give up. We're not a people who give up, even in the darkest of times. And, you know, I'm glad I met you today, and I'm glad you've given me the time. I like your sign.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for bringing it out.
Thanks for coming and thanks for doing your work.
Save our precious King, long live our Lord the King, God save the King.
So I spoke to a lot of people today, and people are angry, and people are upset, and people are emotional. You know what, so am I. Because for 2 years, Jews in this country have faced unprecedented levels of anti-Semitism. For 2 years, we've been dehumanized by people on the street. And for 2 years, we've been told that it's not as bad as we think it is, and that it's being taken care of, and that it's in hand. Well, guess what? Recently, an Islamist terrorist drove up to a synagogue in Manchester on Yom Kippur and started stabbing people. 2 people are dead now. So it's not being taken care of, and it's not in hand. You know, that same day, the Prime Minister said he would do everything in his power to protect British Jews. Well, that night, Palestine demonstrations across the country sprung up and started calling for intifada, and that Zionists should get out of the country. Is that taking care of the problem? You know, in this very location, Trafalgar Square, yesterday, 24 hours ago, there were hundreds of people professing support for a proscribed terrorist organization, depleting the police resources and requiring hundreds of arrests. Is that being taken care of? Because all the police did was ask them not to do it, and inevitably they ignored them and did it anyway. Is that what being taken care of looks like? You know, there's a real problem in this country. And a lot of people I spoke to today are thinking of leaving. And they're not a handful. A lot of people are thinking of leaving. They're questioning their place here. The time for thoughts and prayers has come and gone. We need real action from the people in charge. The leaders in this country need to do something now. Because if they don't, more people might die. So get on with it.